So, Leute, wir sind zurück. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. Bin ein bisschen müde. Wir sind immer noch auf der Citadel. Wir haben relativ viele Nebenquests gemacht. Ich hab schon wieder die ganze Steuerung vergessen. Oh nein, wie stecke ich das weg?
On me.
Gut. Was war... Oh Gott. Ah. Rechtsklick? Nee. Linksklick ist ein Schuss. H für Holstern. Dankeschön. Oh Gott, hallo. Manu. Nicht A, H. Ich habe doch H gesagt. Hast du nur falsch verstanden. Season Pass war doch 30 und 1 in 15 oder 20. Ach so. Krass, hätte ich jetzt nicht gedacht. Warte mal, wo ist denn Q für... Nee. Cool. Also wir haben Garros, mein Boy, dabei. Wieso siehst du so wenig gekleidet aus? Hast du immer nur so wenig an? Und wir haben Tali dabei. Scheiß auf die Menschen. Ich habe keine Lust mehr auf Menschen hier in dem Spiel dabei zu haben. Nicht nur Mano. Hallo Iris. Ich wusste nicht, ob das immer noch... Also... Aha. Warte, wie ist denn Rennen? Ach, Leer... Ja, Leer, das ist sogar Rennen. Okay, da muss ich nicht hoch. Wo muss ich überhaupt hin? Sei doch froh, dass du Garus wenig... Ja, stimmt, das stimmt schon. Take on. Ich glaube, ich hab's gleich. Sekunde. Oh, wir haben noch 4 Punkte. Increase the force to Frau. Ja, 1000 Newton. Let's go. Oh, wir können das Spectre Training. Wir sollten das Spectre Training auch so rein leveln. Dann hast du auch noch 4 Assault Rifles. Spielst du nicht sogar primär auf Assault? Nee, du spielst auf Sniper Rifles, ne? Komm, ernst. Ja, machen wir das mal. Dann haben wir Unlock Damping, was auch immer Damping ist. Jetzt haben wir nochmal ein First Aid reinskillen. Was macht First Aid eigentlich nochmal? Restore Special Health for all wanted party members. Cool. Ich kann mich ja dann heilen. Ha! Pistols. So, Hacking. Electronics. Machen wir das mal. So. Dann denke ich mal, nein. Dann sind wir bei U. Nee. Z, K, L, J. Journal. Okay, ich habe die Quest wieder gefunden. Hallo, Kashi. Schön, dass du da bist. Wie war dein Stream noch, meine Gute? Erstmal mit dem Spiel Kaden Archie austauschen. Boah, Alter. Ich hasse Archie. Archie ist einfach nervig in dem Spiel. Also, ich mochte die nicht also ich mochte die nie. Und ich habe auch wieder schnell festgestellt, I'm still not liking her. Das ist Charles. Ach so, Entschuldigung, Charles. I'm sorry. Ist das immer noch Charles? So, jetzt muss ich mal eben kurz ein News Witz indicate that the survey team in the Hades Gamma Cluster. Okay. Gamma Cluster Citadel. Das sind die Keepers, die ich scannen muss. Homecoming. Summit, the husband of a soldier who died on Eden Prime, has asked you to convince the Alliance to return his wife's body. The husband of a soldier. Okay. Ja. Talk with the diplomat. Speak to boss in handling his situation and find out why his wife's body has not been returned. He's in the embassy lodge on the Präsidium. I guess wir machen dann das. Erstmal. Ich mache erstmal Nebenscheiß wieder. Wir müssen ins Präsidium. Let's go. Ich weiß ungefähr mein Stream. Ich war heute leider nicht live. Oh, tut mir leid. Ja, sorry. Ich glaube, der hat sich besser benommen als beim letzten Mal. Jetzt ist er wieder im Schrank. Okay. Ist auch gut, dass man Menschen einfach in so Schränke stecken kann, im Zweifel, weil man keinen Bock auf die hat. Shit. Ach, warte, der war bei Embasses. Ich mochte sie nie und dann habe ich gesehen, ja. Weil ich habe das so im Hintergrund, bin immer noch so, I know who I gonna choose. Warte, das ist der Typ, der mir die Quest gegeben hat. Mit wem soll ich reden? Es tut mir leid. Speak to Bosker. He's in the embassy lounge. Was ist denn die Lounge? Wie hieß der? Meine Aufmerksamkeitsspanne. Bosca. Bosca, Bosca, Bosca ist ein feines Land. La 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 la. Free Carla. Free Carla? Wieso denn Carla? Von Scrubs jetzt? Wo ist denn Bosca? Ist Bosca ein Mensch? Ach, jetzt müssen wir erstmal im Präsidium hier erstmal rumsuchen, wo dieser Dude ist. Von euch war keiner Bosca, ne? Nee. Oh, aber dann können wir den Keeper hier wenigstens gut scannen. Blub. Oh, ist auch schön, so ein bisschen XP und Geld zu kriegen. Ich muss mich aber auch wieder zwingen, weiterzuspielen. Oh, das sollte doch nicht so sein. Hallo Ubisoft Connect, wieso muss ich mich anmelden? Du sollst doch angemeldet bleiben. Ach, ich hasse das auch. Ich habe vor allen Dingen letztens irgendwie CC-Cleaner oder C-Cleaner bei mir auf dem Rechner rumlaufen lassen. Und dann eigentlich lasse ich die nie meine Cookies löschen. Jetzt ist alles weg und ich muss mich überall anmelden und sitze einfach mal so. Du bist irgendein Diplomat. Gibt es hier irgendwo eine... Warte, es gibt eine Map. Bin ich dumm. Oh mein Gott, da ist sogar so ein Symbol. Aber komm, ich wäre da fast automatisch hingelaufen. Nach einer gewissen Zeit. Nasana, Bartender. Wo ist denn Bosca? Bosca, wo sind sie? Claire hier. Wir haben gefunden.
You're Commander Shepard. Your activities made for quite a briefing in the diplomatic corps. Is there something I can do to assist you?
Yeah, I'm here for Smash. Ich will die ganze Zeit Smash lesen. Ubisoft ist das Einzige, was ich jetzt neu anmelden will. Und es fängt schon damit an, dass ich nicht weiß, ob ich die alte oder neue E-Mail-Adresse... Oh ja, ich hatte an einem gewissen Punkt, hatte ich tatsächlich irgendwann mal drei Ubisoft-Accounts, wo ich glaube, und ich habe, glaube ich, auf jedem Account von Ubisoft habe ich ein Assassin's Creed-Spiel. Und ich weiß bis heute eigentlich nicht, mit welchem Account ich auf der Xbox oder so angemeldet bin. Ich habe einfach gar keine Ahnung mehr.
Yes. A man named Samesh Bhatia is having some trouble claiming his wife's body.
Ah, Mr. Bhatia. A good man in an understandably frustrating position. I wish I could help him.
But...
Serviceman Nirali Bhatia died on Eden Prime, as Mr. Bhatia no doubt told you.
Yeah.
Her wounds are inconsistent with any type of weapon damage we've seen before. That is why her body is being held.
Oh, you're running tests.
You're studying her injuries to learn more about Geth weaponry.
The tests we're conducting may lead to better defenses against Geth attacks. Respectfully, Serviceman Bhatia may save more lives in death than she did in life.
Investigate.
How long do you think this research is going to take?
This is a long-term study. I wouldn't expect the bodies to be released for a year or longer.
Was?
You gotta have a lot of bodies. Can't you release one?
Very few bodies had this new type of weapon damage, and very few were in good enough condition to study. Beyond that, Commander, we need as many bodies as we can to get a reasonable sample size.
When will this research result in actual new technology?
If we're lucky, we'll actually realize usable technology from this study in a few years.
Ach so. This isn't right. Aber da wir Renegade machen.
You know who and what I am. If I want Nirali Bhatia, I can get her.
Commander, I don't think threats are necessary. Even if the body were here on the Citadel, would you really risk going in shooting to get it?
Yes, I would.
The Marine's name was Nirali Bhatia. If you want to cut her up, you call her by name.
All right, Commander. You win. It was hard enough refusing Mr. Bhatia. I'm not going to risk an incident by refusing you. Tell Samesh that the body is being shipped back to Earth. I'll go now to see to it myself.
Viel Spaß, Dennis, bei Pokémon Go. Renegade +9. I like you. Nun, dann wird Valhalla heute wohl doch nicht beendet. Ah, nein! Das ist ja doof, Kevin. Dann kann ich dich ja vielleicht noch einholen. Geh auf die Türchen. Ha, ist schon schön, als Renegade rumzulaufen und einfach Leute zu threaten. Me like
Hello
him.
again, Commander. Has there been any word?
I reminded Mr. Bosker what we're fighting for. Your wife is coming home.
Thank you. I will return home and begin my preparations. It does not bring me happiness, but it may bring me peace.
Das ist ja die Hauptsache.
Goodbye, Commander.
Goodbye. Bye bye. So, dann haben wir die Mission fertig. Dann haben wir halt noch Scandi Keepers. Aber Scandi Keepers ist so eine Quest, die werde ich wahrscheinlich eh nie beenden. While in the city, you uncovered an Alliance patrol report. One of the patrols mentioned some strange activity in the Hydra system. Achso, das ist auch on the whole, it seems harmless, but something is, You discovered a strange transmission, some sort of biotic. Find the commune. Achso, Hawkeye, okay. Scanner und das ist auch. Dann können wir ja eigentlich expose speak to the ambassador. The ambassador will provide you with a ship and a crew. Meet him at the Alliance. Achso, quasi sind wir einfach Alliance Docking Bay Assembly through the central elevator in the CSEC Academy. Alliance Docking CSEC Academy. Ich kann mir das alles nie merken. Aber eigentlich sind wir dann sogar dabei, wieder aufzubrechen quasi. Von der Citadel weg, was ja auch nicht schlimm ist. Hallöchen Jürgen, was geht? Ich bin ein bisschen müde tatsächlich. Wohin muss ich? Scheiße. CSEC. Something with CSEC. Irgendein Fahrstuhl bei CSEC. Wohin muss ich, verdammte Axt? Wann bringt mich das? Warte, Karte. Ich kann ja auch die Karte. Ich bin so dumm. Warte, war das der Elevator? Da müsste doch das der Elevator gewesen sein, ne? CSEC Academy Atrium. The ambassador will provide you with a ship and a crew. Meet him at the Alliance Docking Bay Assembly, accessible through the central elevator in CSEC Academy. Ich glaube, das ist die. Wir gehen jetzt. Ah ja, to the Docking Bay. Let's go. Gerade Spanisch fertig. Oh, du lernst Spanisch einfach so für dich? Oder warum? Jetzt Organisation. Oh, ja, habe ich heute Morgen alles gemacht, tatsächlich. So, wir skippen das. Ich bin richtig müde. Warum? Me Couch Potato Just Dance gestern. Oh, nice. Sehr geil. Sehr, sehr geil. Ich sehe die Normandy schon wieder. Wie viele Kipper hast du jetzt aus Versehen gefunden? 4 Stück erst. Nee, fürs Studium muss ich Spanisch lernen. Oh, was lernst du? Studierst du nochmal? Spiele ich dann jetzt Cyberpunk weiter? Ach ja, kannst du auch noch. Ach, verdammt, Kevin. Du bist mir immer einen Schritt voraus.
I've got big news for you, Shepard. Captain Anderson is stepping down as commanding officer of the Normandy. The ship is yours now.
Ja!
Quiet, and you know the crew. Perfect ship for a Spectre. Treat her well, Commander.
I want the truth. Why are you stepping down, sir?
You needed your own ship. A Spectre can't answer to anyone but the Council. And it's time for me to step down.
Come clean with me, Captain. You owe me that much.
I was in your shoes 20 years ago, Shepard. They were considering me for the Spectres.
What happened?
I failed. I couldn't make the cut. It's not something I'm proud of. Ask me later and I'll tell you the whole story. For now, all you need to know is, I was sent on a mission with Saren, and he made sure the Council rejected me. I had my shot. It came and went. Now you have a chance to make up for my mistakes.
What kind of leads do we have?
Saren's gone. Don't even try to find him. But we know what he's after. The conduit. He's got his Geth scouring the Traverse looking for clues.
We had reports of Geth in the Pharaoh system shortly before our colony there dropped out of contact, and there have been sightings around Noveria.
Find out what Saren was after on Pharos and Noveria. Maybe you can figure out where the conduit is before he does.
The Reapers are the real threat.
I'm with the Council on this one, Shepard. I'm not sure they even exist.
But if they do exist, the conduit's the key to bringing them back. Stop Saren from getting the conduit, and we stop the Reapers from returning.
I'll stop him.
We have one more lead. Matriarch Benezia, the other voice in that recording. She has a daughter, a scientist who specializes in the Protheans. We don't know if she's involved, but it's a good idea to try and find her. See what she knows. Her name's Liara, Dr. Liara Tassoni. We have reports she was exploring an archaeological dig on one of the uncharted worlds in the Artemis Tau cluster.
Woher weiß ich denn, wo ich jetzt starten muss? Oh Gott, ich habe auch alles vergessen wieder. Ich bin komplett verwirrt in diesem Spiel. War die Wahl zwischen French oder Spanish verpflichten? Ja, dann würde ich auch Spanish leben. Na, cool, so dass ich Pokémon weiterspiele. Ja, dann let's go. Iris hatte viel Spaß, als mein Kumpel und ich Let It Go getanzt haben. Kann ich verstehen. Einen wunderschönen Tag, Viva. Schön, dass du da bist, junge Biene. Wie geht's dir? Horizon habe ich ja zum Glück über ein langes Weg durchgesucht. Aber es funktioniert halt nicht beim Games die 100 Stunden. Das stimmt, Kevin. Das ist halt so ein bisschen... dass es am Anfang so schlecht lief, bei mir hatte einen ordentlichen Dampfer. Ach, du hast auch mal Horizon gespielt, ne? Hast du es auch nicht zu Ende gespielt? Boah, keine Ahnung, wo ich starte jetzt einfach bei Pharos.
Colonist's son Pharaohs might still be alive.
It's your decision, Commander. You're a Spectre now. You don't answer to us.
Your actions still reflect on humanity as a whole. You make a mess and I get stuck cleaning it up.
That's your job. It might be necessary.
I'll try not to make things any harder on you, Ambassador.
Glad to hear it, Commander. Remember, you were a human long before you were a Spectre. I have a meeting to get to. Captain Anderson can answer any questions you might have.
Nein! Wir haben Paragon-Punkte gesammelt. Mir geht's auch gut. Bin ein bisschen müde heute. Also eigentlich bin ich erst seit einer Stunde müde, aber ist okay. Iris hat ein Beweisvideo. Sehr schön. Wir sprechen jetzt nochmal kurz mit Captain Anderson.
Yes, Commander?
Are you okay?
How are you holding up?
Honestly, this isn't how I pictured my career coming to an end. Pushing papers really isn't my thing. But you're the one who can stop Sarah. I believe in you, Shepard.
Na, danke.
If that means I have to step aside, so be it.
Tell me what happened with you and Saren 20 years ago.
It's close to 20 years ago now. Ambassador Goyle was our representative here on the Citadel. Like Udina, she wanted to get a human into the Spectres. She chose me. The Council sent Saren to keep an eye on me and evaluate my performance, just like they sent Nihilus to keep tabs on you.
Why weren't you honest with me?
It's not something I'm proud of. I had a chance to become the first human Spectre, and I failed. Saren made sure of that.
I think I deserve the whole story.
Ja!
We get intel on a rogue scientist being funded by Batarian interests. He was trying to set up a facility to develop illegal AI technology out in the Verge. Alliance intel had done all the work, but the Council wanted a Spectre involved. We compromised. I was assigned to help Saren in his investigation. We tracked the scientist to a refining facility on Kamala. He was hidden away somewhere inside, protected by an army of Batarian mercenaries. The plan was simple. Sneak into the plant, capture the scientist, sneak back out. Quick, quiet, and a minimum of bloodshed.
I'm guessing things didn't go as planned?
Saren and I split up to cover more ground. Then about halfway through the mission, there was a massive explosion in the refinery core. Officially, it was ruled an accident, but I think Saren detonated it on purpose to draw off the enemy guards.
Sounds like overkill to me.
The explosion tore the refinery to shreds. The whole place was on fire. Black chemical clouds poured out into the atmosphere. Nobody inside survived.
Ach, schön.
There was a camp for the workers and their families nearby. Between the fires and the toxic fumes, the final death count was over 500. Mostly civilians.
Oh my Gott.
Saren didn't care. The target was eliminated. Mission accomplished. And I ended up taking the blame. That ended all talk of me joining the Spectres.
Dafür wurde er quasi verantwortlich gemacht?
Saren caused the explosion. How'd he pin it on you?
In his report, Saren accused me of blowing his cover. He said it was my fault the guards were ready for us. He claimed that's why it turned into a massacre. Saren's report was all the proof the Council needed to kill my chances of becoming a Spectre.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't. I blame Saren. I think he wanted things to go bad. He was looking for an excuse to blow that refinery. Maybe he just likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me look bad to keep humans out of the Spectres. If so, he pulled it off.
Why'd you let him get away with it?
Who do you think the Council was going to listen to? Me? Or their best agent?
Ja, auch
I had
wahr.
a bad feeling about him right from the start. I should have been more careful. Maybe I could have stopped things before they got out of hand.
Don't blame yourself, Captain.
I don't.
Oh, reden wir jetzt. Oh,
Maybe he
warte.
just
Ah!
likes the violence. Maybe he was just trying to make me
The only
look
thing
bad.
I care about is stopping Saren.
You're right, Commander. It's no good living in the
Any extra intel you can give me on our colony at Pharos?
The entire planet used to be one giant Prothean city, mostly ruins now. But some of the infrastructure is still intact. The colony tried to build on what the Protheans left behind. We lost all contact with them when the Geth attacked.
What do you know about the Artemis Tau cluster?
Not much. I've never been there myself. A handful of systems with a few small, uncharted worlds, but no real colonies. Might not be easy finding Dr. Tassoni out there. My advice is to look for the world with the Prothean ruins.
Ach, da ist sie. Artemis Tau Cluster,
What
okay.
can you tell me about Novaria?
Novaria's trouble. Always has been. The whole planet's basically a center for corporations to conduct illegal research. Watch your back there, Shepard.
Oh nein, ich weiß, was auf
Spectres
Pharos
are
ist.
about the only form of Citadel authority Novaria respects. But they aren't popular.
Oh
I should
nein.
go.
I'll be here if you need anything.
Mir ist gerade eingefallen, was wahrscheinlich auf Pharos abgeht und ich denke mir gerade so... You wanna get the blue... Ich wollte sie eigentlich als erstes und jetzt habe ich aber gesagt, so, ja, ich gehe irgendwie jetzt nach Pharos, weil ich nicht wusste, wo sie war und es war so, Aber andererseits wahrscheinlich kann ich... Wie komme ich denn da rein in dieses Schiff? Warte, da ist die Landung... Oh mein Gott. Aber wahrscheinlich kann ich das ja eh wieder an dem... Bildschirm da machen. Ah, so kam ich in mein Schiff rein. Ah, mein Gott. Hilfe.
Stand by, shore party. Decontamination in progress.
Ja, kannst du. Ja, okay.
Heard what happened to Captain Anderson. Survives 100
Aua.
battles and then gets taken down by backroom politics. Just watch your back, Commander. Things go bad on this mission, you're next on their chopping block.
Yeah, I'm ready.
Saren's out there somewhere, and we're gonna find him.
Everyone on this ship's behind you, Commander. 100%.
Ich liebe
Intercom's
Joker.
open. If you got anything you want to say to the crew, now's the time.
This is Commander Shepard speaking.
We have our orders. Find Saren before he finds the conduit. I won't lie to you, crew. This mission isn't going to be easy.
Erstmal so die Moral ein bisschen drücken. Let's
Council
go.
wants to ignore this.
That's no surprise. They never helped us in the past. No reason they'd start now. But we don't need their help. We can do this on our own.
Our enemy knows we're coming.
When we go into the Traverse, Saren's followers will be waiting for us. But we'll be ready for them, too.
This is the most important mission any of us have ever been on.
The fate of an entire galaxy is at stake. We will stop Saren no matter what the cost.
Well said, Commander. Captain will be proud.
Ja,
I
Arschel.
gave up everything so I could have this chance. We can't fail.
Yes, ma'am.
Aber es war... Oh, yes, Renegade-Punkte. Das war das Wichtigste, was ich mir dabei hole. Oh, shit. Aber das war schon trotzdem cool, wie die da alle gerade standen. Einfach so, yo, was geht? So, wir machen jetzt kommt aber erstmal das Wichtigste, bevor man überhaupt Missionen anfängt. Wir reden jetzt einfach mit allen Crew-Leuten. Also es wird ein bisschen dauern. Wir sehen das gleich.
How's the Normandy performing? Is she everything they said she'd be?
She's the best ship in the fleet. If you've got a pilot who knows how to handle her. Balance isn't what you'd expect. Takes a while to get used to that oversized drive core we got stuffed in the back, and her power can sneak up on you if you're not careful. The Normandy's probably too much ship for your average Alliance pilot, Commander. Lucky for you, I'm anything but average.
Ach, ich liebe Joker. Er ist einfach so ein Arschi.
I like to know my crew.
Aber ein gutes
Mind if I ask you
Arschi.
a few questions?
I can see where this is going. You did a background check on me, didn't you? Well, I'll tell you the same thing I told the captain. You want me as your pilot. I'm not good. I'm not even great. I am the best damn helmsman in the Alliance fleet. Top of my class in flight school, I earned that. All those commendations in my file, I earned every single one. Those weren't given to me as charity for my disease.
Are you contagious?
I'm sorry, Joker. I didn't even know you were sick.
You mean you didn't know? Oh, crap. Okay, I've got Vrolik syndrome, brittle bone disease. The bones in my legs never develop properly. They're basically hollow, too much force and they'll shatter.
Oh, wow.
Even with crutches and my leg braces, it's hard to get around. One wrong step and crack. It's very dramatic. But
but I've learned to manage my condition, Commander. Put the Normandy in my hands and I'll make her dance for you. Just don't ask me to get up and dance unless, you know, you like the sound of snapping shin bones.
Tell me about your disease, Martin. Free Content Streamer muss nicht mehr reden, ja
Why does
wirklich.
everyone call you Joker?
It's a lot shorter than saying Alliance Flight Lieutenant Jeff Moreau. Plus, I love to make little children laugh.
You're dodging the question.
Look, I didn't pick the name. One of the instructors in flight school used to bug me about never smiling. She started calling me Joker, and it stuck.
Huh.
Why didn't you ever smile?
Hey, I worked my ass off in flight school, Commander. The world's not gonna hand you anything if you go around grinning like an idiot. By the end of the year, I was the best pilot in the academy. Even better than the instructors, and everybody knew it. They'd all got their asses kicked by the sickly kid with the creaky little legs. One guess who was smiling at graduation?
Ja, kann ich verstehen. It will be fun on Terum first. Terum?
I need to know more about this Rolex syndrome if I'm putting my ship in your hands.
Yeah, of course you do. It's an extremely rare condition. Nobody knows exactly what causes it. Genetic, maybe. It's treatable, but there's no cure. They classify my case as moderate to severe. I was born with over a dozen fractures. Hip, thighs, ankles, my bones were already breaking in the womb. 100 years ago, I wouldn't have survived past my first year. Lucky for me, modern medical science has turned me into a productive member of society.
You're not gonna break a bone trying to fly the ship, are you?
I don't fly with my feet, Commander, so I'm fine as long as I'm in this chair. I gotta be real careful when I get up to take a piss, though. I can do my job as well as anyone on the ship. Better, actually. So don't worry about it.
I'm not trying to make you uncomfortable. Let's talk about something else.
Überhaupt nicht. Das ist so, ich versuche nicht dir irgendwie kommen, ne? Dass es dir ungemütlich wird, aber erstmal alles so, was so mit seiner Krankheit so zu tun hat, erstmal alles rausquetschen. Aber ich hoffe, es ist nicht störend oder so. Hallo Jan, guten Tag, wie geht's? Bin ein bisschen müde, aber freue mich gerade echt darüber, Mass Effect zu spielen. Was war nochmal auf Terum? Ach, das war wieder Codex. Dann sprechen wir hier mal mit Navigator Presley. Mit dem...
If anyone has to take over for Captain Anderson, I'm glad it's you. I'm not sure about having non-humans on our ship, though.
You doubt my decision? They're on our side. Ach, immer diese Rassisten.
We're all on the same team here, Presley.
With all due respect, ma'am, that's what they said about Nihilus. Look how that turned out.
Nah.
Speak freely, Presley. I want to know if you have a problem with non-humans.
It's not that, Commander. Humanity has always handled its own problems. Saren attacked one of our colonies. We should be the ones to stop him. We don't need their help.
Some people think asking for help is a sign of weakness. That's just being stupid and stubborn. No matter how strong you are, allies can make you stronger.
I guess so. Maybe I'm just stuck in the old ways of thinking. But don't worry, Commander. This won't be a problem.
How did you end up assigned to the Normandy?
I signed up with the Alliance as a navigator right out of school, following in my grandfather's footsteps, I guess. My first posting was on the Action-Rollenspiel. We were at Elysium during the Skillian Blitz. A massive fleet of alien raiders hit the colony, trying to wipe it out. They had the numbers, but their ships were no match for an Alliance frigate. It was a slaughter. We couldn't even keep track of how many ships they lost.
Warte, das hat er mir schon erzählt.
Yes, ma'am.
Der erzählt mir immer die gleiche Scheiße. Also nicht die gleiche Scheiße, ne? Aber er erzählt mir immer das Gleiche. So, wir gucken jetzt mal, ich muss mal eben kurz gucken, wo die anderen Crew-Leute sind. Presley ist auch einer nicht der, also ist nicht so ein wichtiger Charakter, mit dem kann man halt reden. Aber wir wollen natürlich mit den wichtigsten Leuten reden, mit denen wir bangen können. Die schaut immer leicht nach unten. Ja, das tun sie. Ich habe einfach Lust, mit allen zu flirten. Ich muss echt aufpassen.
Just trying to get a sense of where the crew's at. Thoughts?
I've wasted enough of your time for now, Commander. We'll have time for personal debriefings later.
What's your opinion on the last mission?
I don't see how we could have done things any better. At least not without getting to Eden Prime sooner. And we were on the scene faster than any other Alliance ship could have been.
We'll talk another time, Lieutenant.
Okay. Caden hast eigentlich nicht. Ich habe den früher mal Kaidan genannt. Das stickt in so meinem Head auch noch so ein bisschen. Caden Hat er keinen Bock, mit uns überhaupt zu reden. Das ist auch okay. Hier ist noch ein Mini-Guild drin, nehme ich gerne.
Yes, Commander? Is
Stecken.
there something you need?
How well do you know the lieutenant?
I'd never worked with him before this mission, but he has an impressive service record. Over a dozen special commendations. Tends to keep to himself, though. Maybe because of the headaches. It's not easy being an L2.
What does that have to do with it?
Well, most biotics now use the L3 implants. Lieutenant Alenko was wired with the old L2 configuration. Sometimes there are complications.
Ich bin mir nicht sicher, ob wir mit ihr darüber auch schon geredet haben.
Severe mental disabilities, insanity, crippling physical pain. There's a long list of horrific side effects. Caden's lucky. He just gets migraines.
Ja, das hat sie mir schon erzählt. Und dann erzählt sie, ich glaube, wir haben uns schon mit der auch komplett unterhalten. Brauchen wir nicht. Wir müssen halt nur wo sind denn die anderen? Wo sind denn die coolen Aliens, die wir haben? Wo ist Garus vor allen Dingen? Wichtigster Mann auf dem Schiff. Wirklich wichtigster Mann auf dem Schiff. Fahre ich jetzt hoch oder runter damit? Sieht aus, als würde ich runterfahren. Das ist schon mal gut. Aha! Hier sind die Dudes, mit denen ich gerne rumduzen. Sehr gerne.
Have you worked with the Spectre before?
Well, no, but I know what they're like. Spectres make their own rules. You're free to handle things your way. At CSEC, you're buried by rules. The damn bureaucrats are always on your back.
True. Ich muss ihm bei allem recht geben, wenn ich mit ihm meine.
Being a Spectre does have its advantages.
Exactly my point. If I'm trying to take down a suspect, it shouldn't matter how I do it, as long as I do it. But CSEC wants it done their way. Protocol and procedure come first. That's why I left.
So you just quit because you didn't like the way they do things?
There's more to it than that. It didn't start out bad, but as I rose in ranks, I got saddled with more and more red tape. CSEC's handling of Saren was typical. I just couldn't take it anymore. I hate leaving.
I hope you made the right choice. I'd hate for you to regret it later.
Well, that's sort of why I teamed up with you. It's a chance for me to get off the Citadel, see how things are done outside CSEC. Either way, I plan to make the most of this. And without CSEC headquarters looking over my shoulder, well, maybe I can get the job done my way for a change.
Hallo Hansi, wunderschön ist, dass du da bist. Humans! That depends. Sounds good to me.
As long as you do your job well, you're free to go about your business as you see fit.
Thank you, Commander.
Schon mal ein guter Start mit ihm. Jetzt checken wir Rex noch aus. Danke.
What can I do for you?
What's your story, Rex?
There's no story.
Okay, danke fürs Gespräch.
Aquarian, if you want stories.
Aquarian. Wer war nochmal der Aquarian? Ist halt immer spaßig, das Gerät von dem Typ bla 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 und so. Und ich so, wo Aliens? Ja, Tag, Rex. Rex der Beste. Don't be an ass. Just a short.
You Krogans live for centuries. Don't tell me you haven't had a few interesting adventures.
Well, there was this one time the Turians almost wiped out our entire race. That was fun.
That's unfortunate. Big.
Yeah, they tried the same with us, but we fought them off.
It's not the same.
It isn't?
It seems pretty much the same to me.
So your people were infected with a genetic mutation?
Oh.
An infection that makes only a few in 1,000 children survive birth?
And
I suppose it's destroying your entire species?
So, I see your point, yeah.
I suppose it isn't all the same.
I don't expect you to understand, but don't compare humanity's fate with the Krogan.
I won, sorry!
Sorry, Rex. I wasn't trying to get you upset.
Your ignorance doesn't upset me, Shepard. As for the Krogan, I gave up on them long ago.
Warum?
The genophage infected us, but it's not what's killing us.
Was killt euch denn dann?
Are your people really dying?
We're sure not getting any stronger. We're too spread out. None of us are interested in staying in our own system.
Lots of species have left their homes and prospered.
But they go to colonize new worlds. We're not settlers. We're warriors. We want to fight. So we leave. Hire ourselves out. And most of us never go back.
Oh, so traurig, die Geschichte von den Kroganern.
What can you tell me about the genophage?
Ask the Solarians if you want details. They made it. All I know, it makes breeding nearly impossible. Thousands die in stillbirth, and most never get that far.
Das ist so schlimm eigentlich mit der Genophage.
Every Krogan is infected. Everyone. And no one's rushing to find a cure.
Why don't the Krogan try to find a cure?
When was the last time you saw a Krogan scientist?
Oh.
Ask a Krogan. Would he rather find a cure for the genophage or fight for credit? He'll choose fighting every time. It's just who we are, Shepard. I can't change that. Nobody can.
Ja, Jan ist auf jeden Fall ein sehr textintensives Spiel. Aber, es ist immer so worth, sich wirklich mit den Charakteren zu unterhalten, weil du kriegst einfach so viel von den Geschichten erzählt und dergleichen. Ach, guck mal, hier, so können wir die locker von allen zugreifen. Du kriegst halt super viel Hintergrundwissen, wie die Menschen da ticken. Du kannst halt diese Beziehung aufbauen und dergleichen. Deswegen ist es echt immer cool. Vertex, Wokek, ja.
Commander?
Can we talk? How are we doing? How are we doing?
What's your opinion of the last mission?
Kinda wish you'd got there sooner, Commander. No offense, I appreciate the rescue. I just wish...
You wish we'd been able to save the rest of your unit.
Yes, ma'am. If I had been more alert, we wouldn't have been cut down by an ambush.
Be more alert.
We never trained to fight synthetics. The Geth haven't gone beyond the Veil in 3 centuries.
Our training's supposed to make us able to adapt. I'll make sure it doesn't happen again.
Do you have a few minutes to talk? One-on-one?
I'm sorry, Commander. I need to get my duties squared away. I wouldn't mind talking more later, though.
Dismissed, Chief.
Ma'am.
Arschel. Ashley, von jetzt heißt du einfach nur noch Arschel, ne? Wer ist er?
Hey, Commander. Looking for some extra supplies before you head out?
Ach.
Not right now, thanks.
No problem.
Ist also mein Personal Shop. Wir haben noch eine Tali irgendwo, ne? Ach warte, er erzählt mir, glaube ich, jetzt was über den Kern.
You know that Quarian Tally? She's been spending all her time down here asking me about our engines.
I'll tell her to leave you alone.
Nein.
What? No, she's amazing. I wish my guys were half as smart as she is. Give her a month on board and she'll know more about our engines than I do. She's got a real knack for technology, that one. I can see why you wanted her to come along.
Soon. Jan, ganz soon. Wir quatschen noch eben und gleich geht's dann erstmal in die richtige Mission.
I figured she'd be a real asset to the team.
Ja, ja.
You've got an eye for Tally, Commander. But I'm guessing that's not why you came down here.
Fill me in on the IES stealth system. How does it work exactly?
You can't hide a ship out in space. They emit too much heat and radiation. Too easy for sensors to pick them up. Unless you find a way to capture those emissions. So our stealth systems trap the energy we give off in storage sinks built into the ship itself. No emissions to give away our location. Eventually the sinks have to be vented. More than a few hours silent running and they overheat. Cook us inside our own hull.
Crazy. Immer die harte Entscheidung für mich. Ich möchte Liara mitnehmen, but I wanted to nurture Garrus Ixtali. Ja, kann ich verstehen.
There's no way for anyone to detect us?
A visual scan can still pick us up. Anyone looking out a window can see us plain as day. But you have to be pretty close to get an actual visual out in space.
Ja, schon
Most
klar.
vessels rely on scanners. As long as the stealth systems are engaged, they can't see us. Not unless we accelerate to FTL speeds.
Why doesn't it work with faster-than-light travel?
Cranking up to FTL blue shifts our emissions, pushes them into frequencies too high to capture in the sinks. As soon as we make the jump, it's like setting off a flare. Sensors can pick up our location whenever we enter or exit FTL flight, but for short-range missions, our stealth systems are amazing, and we've got the only one.
Nice.
I want to know more about the Normandy.
She's the best ship I've ever served on, probably the fastest vessel ever designed. She's the only one using the new Tantalus drive core.
What's so special about the Tantalus drive core?
Proportionally, it's about twice the size of any other vessel. Not only are we faster, but we can run at FTL speeds longer before we have to discharge the core.
Where else have you served, Adams?
If you name a class of Alliance ship, I've probably served on it. Everything from dreadnoughts and carriers right down to frigates like the Normandy. My last assignment was on the Tokyo, only a cruiser, but she was a good ship. Couldn't hold a candle to the Normandy, though.
Carry on, Adams.
Alright. So, jetzt sprechen wir noch mit Tali einmal.
Your ship's amazing, Shepard. I've never seen a drive core like this before. I can't believe you were able to fit it into a ship this small. I'm starting to understand why you humans have been so successful. I had no idea Alliance vessels were so advanced.
The Normandy's a prototype, cutting-edge technology.
A month ago, I was patching a makeshift fuel line into a converted tug ship in the flotilla. Now, I'm sitting on board one of the most advanced vessels in Citadel.
Ich finde das irgendwie immer noch krass, dass die Menschen das eines der krassesten Schiffe haben.
Traveling on a vessel like this is a dream come true for me.
Wird auch wieder Spaß. Ich werde in ME2 wieder keine Relationship einfügen mit einem aus der Crew. Ah, the thing!
It comes with being a Quarian. The migrant fleet is the key to the survival of my people. Ships are our most valuable resource. But we don't have anything like this. We make do with cast-offs and second-hand equipment. We just try to keep them running for as long as we can. Some of the fleet's larger vessels date all the way back to our original flight from the Gap.
Aber ist Liara im zweiten Teil auch nicht richtig dabei? Nee, ne?
I can't believe your fleet's still using ships that are 3 centuries old.
They're constantly being repaired, modified, and refitted. They aren't pretty, but they work, mostly. We've tried to make ourselves as independent as possible on the flotilla, grow our own food, mine, and process our own fuel. But some things we just can't make on our own. A patch to maintain the hull integrity requires raw materials we just don't have. That's why our pilgrimages are so important.
Okay. Jetzt müssen wir erstmal mehr über die Quarians verstehen. Wir die ganze Zeit am Fighten, Spaceships und so, geil einfach. Das stimmt, aber wie gesagt, also du würdest aber, Jan, du wirst echt, du verpasst eine richtig gute Geschichte dann. Und wie gesagt, du kannst halt eine Beziehung zu den Charakteren aufbauen und teilweise ist es sogar in anderen Spielen, in dem zweiten oder dritten Spiel, auch sehr wichtig, was für eine Beziehung du mit diesen Charakteren hast, also ob du dich gut mit denen verstehst oder nicht, weil du dein Interesse zeigst oder nicht, weil davon können auch bestimmte Endergebnisse an Missionen abhängen, deswegen ist es immer gut.
Our lives aren't easy. Resources are scarce and we are constantly on the move. Everything we do must in some way contribute to the continuation of the migrant fleet. There are 17 million Quarians in the flotilla, and each of us relies on the others for survival. The bonds among my people are strong. Unfortunately, we have had to surrender many of the freedoms and civil liberties other species take for granted.
What kind of freedoms?
Well, it's illegal for parents to have more than one child. If our population grows too much, it would strain our resources to their breaking point. Of course, we also can't allow our numbers to become too few. If our population is in decline, the rule against single births is temporarily repealed. In extreme cases of population decline, incentives are even offered to encourage multiple births, though the Conclave hasn't had to take such measures in nearly a century.
That's your government.
The Conclave is our civilian branch of government. Each ship can elect a representative to serve on the Conclave and make decisions that affect the fleet as a whole. On matters that affect an individual ship, however, the captain has the final say. It's a tradition that dates back to the early days, when the fleet was governed by martial law. Fortunately, most captains nowadays are smart enough to have an elected council from their crew to give them advice and guidance.
Nee, ich hatte Lair of the Shadow Broker nie gespielt, nein.
So the ultimate power rests with elected officials?
In practice, the Conclave and the respective council for each ship tend to set the rules that govern our daily lives. But in theory, we are still under military jurisdiction. The 5 top-ranking military officials in the fleet serve on the Admiralty Board. These 5 have the power to overrule any decision by the Conclave in case of emergency. To do so requires unanimous agreement among the Admiralty, and they can only do this once. After that, the entire board must resign their posts.
Das ist eigentlich ein cooles System.
That served us well. In nearly 3 centuries, the Admiralty Board has only overruled the Conclave 4 times.
I want to know more about the Geth.
I doubt I can tell you anything you don't already know. It's been almost 3 centuries since they drove my people into exile. All I know is the story of their origins. What they were when we created them, and how they turned on us.
Warte, bis auf Pinnacle Station sind alle DLCs dabei und weil, alle, die haben den Code verloren. Das ist ja sick, ey.
The Geth were originally created to serve as an automated manual labor force. Initially, their intelligence was as limited as any VI. Over time, we made small modifications to their programming to allow them to perform more varied and complex tasks, bringing them closer and closer to true AI status.
Hi, Mikey! How you do?
How come the council didn't step in and stop you?
This wasn't true AI research. We may have been skirting the bounds of the law, but we never did anything that was actually illegal. The changes were so insignificant, so gradual, that we were able to control them. Or so we thought. But one thing we underestimated was the power of the neural network. A million Geth thinking simultaneously created an inherently unstable matrix.
So the Geth share brain power?
Many of the Geth's logic systems were designed to work in concert with other nearby Geth. Basically, the more of them you have in a group, the smarter they are.
Huh. Good, my last day of holiday. That sucks. I'm a bit tired, but I'm like really excited to play Mass Effect. We're doing like a lot of interviewing my crew dudes at the moment before we start a new mission. But yeah. Gibt aber schon Mother, die dran arbeiten, Pinnacle Station, die Legendary Edition reinzubasteln. Nice.
So there's some sort of group consciousness?
No, nothing like that. They cannot share sensory data or information. Their programming cannot handle that much simultaneous input. Each Geth maintains an individual awareness and identity. The neural network only operates on a process-based level. It's basically the synthetic equivalent of a subconscious. But when they're in close proximity, they can coordinate low-level functional processes, freeing up more capacity for original or independent thought.
That doesn't make any sense.
I'm probably oversimplifying. The Geth are incredibly advanced and complex creations. All you need to know is that they get smarter when they gather in large numbers.
Thank you.
As we built more and more Geth, their effective intelligence became more sophisticated, more abstract. One day, a Geth began to ask its Quarian overseer questions about the nature of its existence. Am I alive? Why am I here? What is my purpose? As you can imagine, this caused a near panic among my people.
What did you do?
It was inevitable the newly sentient Geth would rebel against their situation. We knew they would rise up against us, so we acted first. A general order went out across all Quarian-controlled systems to permanently deactivate all Geth. The Geth responded to this order violently.
Hey, you can't blame them for fighting for their survival.
We had no other choice. The Geth were already on the verge of revolution. By acting quickly, we had a chance to end the war before it began. The hope was that most of the Geth would still be little more than machines, incapable of organized resistance. But they had progressed much further than anyone anticipated. The war was long and bloody. Millions upon millions of Quarians died at their hands. In the end, we were forced to flee our own homeworld. We feared the Geth would pursue us, but they never came beyond the veil. Now we drift through space, exile, searching for a way to reclaim what was once ours.
Das war krass, ey. Die haben einfach die Geths gebaut. Die Geths haben dann irgendwann so ein Bewusstsein gebaut, dass sie halt als Lebewesen wirklich gelten und nicht mehr als Roboter. Und haben die aus ihrer eigenen Milchstraße quasi geballert aus ihrer eigenen Region. Und ja, wie gesagt, das Spiel ist sehr sprachlastig, definitiv. Es ist aber halt, deine Entscheidung, ob du die ganzen Dialoge durchgehen möchtest oder nicht. Ich mache das halt, weil ich die Geschichte dahinter sehr spannend finde und man kriegt halt eben mit, was ist mit den Quarians passiert. Also wie Tali mir gerade eben erzählt, dass sie die Gaps gebaut haben. Damit verstehst du nämlich auch direkt so, das sind die Gaps, okay, cool, was können die, was machen die, wo kommen die eigentlich her? Und das gibt das Spiel am Anfang super viel an Input. Irgendwann wir sind halt auch relativ noch am Anfang, ne? Das wird irgendwann auch weniger.
We made a mistake when we created the
War ein
Geth.
bisschen rude von mir jetzt.
But we did not make a mistake when we went to war against them. If we had not acted, they would have wiped us out. They're a synthetic life form. They have no use for organics. None. Why do you think they cut themselves off from the rest of the galaxy? Why do you think they've killed every organic being who's ever tried to contact them?
I didn't mean to offend you.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to get so worked up. Most Quarians tend to have pretty strong opinions about the Geth.
I want to know more about the pilgrimage.
When my people reach maturity, we leave our birth ships and seek acceptance with a new crew. It's necessary to maintain genetic diversity among the fleet. But no ship wants to accept someone who will be a burden on them. So, to prove our worth, we embark on a pilgrimage. We set out alone, leaving the flotilla and our families behind us. We only return once we have found something of value we can bring back to the fleet. This is presented as a gift to the captain of the respective ship we wish to join. If the gift is accepted, we are welcomed into the crew.
Can a captain choose to reject the gift?
That doesn't happen often. Most captains are eager to increase the size of their crew. It increases their own standing in our society. Even when a gift is not particularly valuable, the captain usually accepts it out of a sense of tradition. However, there is a stigma to presenting a substandard gift. It's not the best way to make a good impression on a new community. Most pilgrims don't return until they find something worthwhile.
I can't believe they just send you off alone.
It's not like they just cast us out. Before we leave, we are given lessons in how to survive outside the flotilla, and given gifts to help us on our journey. We also receive implants to fight off sickness and disease. Generations of living in an isolated and highly controlled environment have left our immune systems weaker than most. By the time we leave the fleet, we are well equipped for the pilgrimage. This is a rite of passage for all Quarians. If it were dangerous, our numbers would suffer. Virtually every pilgrimage ends with a triumphant return and the ritual presentation of the gift to one of the fleet's captains.
I want to talk about something else.
Like
Is it like goodbye?